And this is Lee's studio, where he does his resin pouring, aka the garage. We're going to see, as you can tell, it's quite a messy process, and we're going to see if we can help him clean that up. Let's take a look at his workbench. You can see there he's got cups for mixing paint. He's actually started on a project there. More mixing cups. And he's got his paint and pigments and resins. These little triangles are some paint triangles that I printed out from Thingiverse. I will share the link to those down below. But they're really handy. You just put 3 of those under anything you're painting and voila, it's up off the ground. So let's see if we can use some 3D printing to help this a little bit. Here we go. Here are a few examples of some of Lee's first pours that he did with the resin. And basically what resin pouring is, you take a clear resin and you impregnate it with different pigments or colors, and then you layer those as you pour and pour in different sequences and apply heat, and it allows the paint to flow over itself and create these different intricate patterns. He also made use of an old AOL CD. We're going to make some things to help Lee organize all of his paints and different cups out there. So we have a couple different size things here. We have the cups, we have small bottles of pigment, and we have medium bottle of pigment. So what I thought would be really handy is to make a holder for these different size pigments and cups, so that he can store and stack all that stuff neatly instead of having to go around the perimeter of whatever he happens to be working on at the moment. We jumped right in here. The first thing I did is I drew a basic rectangle and extruded it by 20 millimeters. Next, I'm going to draw a circle and make it 42 millimeters wide, which is about the width of the cup, a little less than halfway. Now I'm going to kind of opposite of the extrude and cut the hole 18 millimeters deep into the rectangle. I need to figure out how to make symmetric holes on either side of this middle hole. So what I'm going to do is draw a construction line right through the center of my rectangle here. Okay, so I'll start the line here and just draw it all the way across to the other side. And we'll see a little triangle pop up when I've got it. There we go. Okay, I'm done drawing my line, so I'm going to stop the sketch. And there you can see my line superimposed over the rectangle. I'm going to select my object. I'm going to create pattern on a path. And then what I can do is select my hole that I want. And over there you can't see it off screen, but now I'm selecting the path. Now I select how many holes I want by just dragging this arrow. There we go. I want 5. Okay, now I'm going to spread them out so that they're all evenly spaced. I'm just doing this by eye. And there we go, 5 holes. I'm just going to examine the model a little bit. Everything looks good, nice and evenly spaced. And I'll just go over, turn off the construction line. Now I'll select each one of these edges because I'm going to fillet them, which will give them a nice round edge. Getting all of them. I think we're good. right click is not cooperating with me, so I'm going to have to select it from the menu. There we go. And I'm going to do a 2mm. There we go. Now there was one last edge I couldn't grab, so I'm going to swing the model around here. And there it is. Now I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. If somebody knows, give me a comment down there and let me know how to select all these lines at the same time. So I only have to do one fillet operation. There we go. Done with the last one. Let's take one last look. Everything looks pretty good, and we'll go ahead and save it.
Now is when we get to slice no jutsu. Now is when we slice.
Slicing is the process of taking the CAD file, which is basically a mesh of triangles that's hollow, and cutting it up into layers so that the printer can deal with it. Here we're selecting the printer, which contains several settings about the printer, such as that we have the multi-material unit on it. Now that we've set our layer height there, which is the height of each slice, we can put in the infill density, which doesn't need to be super high for something like this. And now we're going to bring in the model. Select my STL file from the right directory there. And there's our model. Now I decided to do something stupid here, which was to rotate it, which makes it turn blue. Blue means it's hanging off the print bed, which isn't good. So the way it originally came in is the way I should have left it. So my solution, because I couldn't get it to go back on the print bed that way by turning it, was just to turn it catacorner to the print bed so that it fits and nothing's hanging over. Next, we actually slice the model. Try to give it a good look here. Slice it. That's a pretty quick one for this is a simple model. And finally, we're exporting the G-code here. The G-code is the language that the printer speaks. And G-code is exported, and next thing we need to do is get it to the printer. Here we can see what the final product is going to look like, and we can preview the layers by scrolling down here and get into them. There you can see the infill in that crisscross pattern and what all that's going to look like. Next step is printing. For that, we're going to use Octoprint, which is a piece of software that runs on a computer, a little computer, attached to the printer itself. Here, I have a camera attached, so I'm going to set my time-lapse options so I can get some cool time-lapsey shots from this. I'll save that. And next, we need to upload the file. There you can see the camera view for a second. And now we're going to upload the file. Just need to pick the correct G-code. And there it goes uploading. Now this is uploading to the printer, to the computer connected to the printer. It's a Raspberry Pi over Wi-Fi. So it's saving it on the Raspberry Pi itself. And there we go. It is saved off to the Raspberry Pi, and we simply need to click print, load and print. And up there you can see it says file, resin holder cups, and we are in the way of printing. And there we go. It's starting its self-test, doing the bed leveling. You can see all this through the camera on the printer, even though I'm sitting right next to it. Goes. Now what it's doing is it's probing the bed in 9 different points to make sure that everything's nice and level. And if not, it will correct for that to a certain extent in the software. And that's to make sure that you get a good print. It's going to come over. The first thing it's going to do is prime the nozzle by drawing a nice big line there. And here we can see the print actually being done. Now this is of course real time. Just kidding. This is sped up a lot. These prints take hours and hours to print sometimes. We'll speed it up for you. Here we have the first pass at a design for the cup holder. I'll show you. One cup fits pretty well in there. I took the measurements of the cup. Oh, about right there. And then I measured from there down. So I got my dimensions for the hole as far as I wanted. At least I thought I did. Look what happens when I put another cup next to it. It's too tight. I forgot to account for the tapering of the cup itself. So I did a second design of that. As you can see, Lee's already tried this out and it works pretty well if you just use 3 cups. I guess that's why they call it 3D modeling and not 3D getting it perfect right. I guess that's why they call it 3D modeling and not 3D get it perfect on the first try. So what I've decided to do here is remodel this in a 3-tiered design that'll hold 9 cups overall. So here we go. Wax this away and then giving a fresh coat of glue stick. I'm not going to try to go too heavy, just want a nice even coat. Something for the plastic to bond to. So guess what's happening there. So then you just insert the SD card. Inserted. Choose print from SD. Resin holder cups is what we want. And there we go. The print is kicked off. Once the file loads, then we just need to simply choose which filament we want. I'm going to choose filament 1. You can see filament loader loads it in there. And printing begins. Okay, I got that resolved. So there goes filament loading. And since this is going to get covered with paint and resin anyway, I don't care what color it is. So I'm just going through my filaments. Here, squirting some out. I'll wait until it looks like that candy orange red. That's pretty good. So I'm going to tell it yes. Pick off all the stuff. There it is. You can see it started printing again. Notice the red on top of the copper. Whatever works, right? First we had a need, then we had a solution for the need, which was to design the part, then we had to slice the part, then we had to print the part, and finally we had to test the part. And then if the test didn't work, then we had to go back to the design process and start all over. But again, that's why they call it 3D modeling and not 3D instantly get what you want. Okay, it's a few days later and we've printed all of the, for lack of a better term, racks for the paint cups and dyes and paints and stuff. Let's take a look. So here is the workspace all cleaned up, and you can see everything is fairly organized now with the holders that we designed and 3D printed. And there are all the paint triangles. If I can do it, so can you.